This is Moonshine and Music with Joe Shelton. Wait a minute, that's me. Anyway, we're going to bring you some inspiring songwriters, musicians, and maybe some side challenges and other stuff around the music industry. So stick with us right now, because the show is coming your way. Woo! Moonshine and Music starts right now. Guys, welcome to Moonshine and Music. We're here today with Jethro Easyfields. How you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
And the critter that he's brought along. What is this thing?
This is a honey badger. Yeah.
You get the honey badger on the set.
Just in case you get out of hand, or I do.
Well, it's possible that I could get out of hand. Probably not at this time of day, but
I got
you
your
just
back.
never know.
I got your back.
You can control that thing?
Yeah, just in case.
Okay, well, it looks a little vicious, I got to be honest with you.
Sunday can be vicious. Sunday morning coming down, yeah. It's a beautiful day, though. It's a beautiful day.
That's how that song happened, right? Sunday morning coming down?
Right.
You know, it's,
Chris Christopherson, yeah.
Yeah, it's the day after.
Mm-hmm.
The day after that gets you. It's not the day of.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay for your consequences for whatever you
that is
together,
true.
Right?
Yeah.
So, where are you from in the world originally? Are you from the Indianapolis?
I'm from northern Indiana.
Northern Indiana?
A small town called Knox, Indiana.
Knox. I've been through Knox.
Oh, you've been through there?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You didn't get stopped by cops?
No, my brother lived in LaPorte for a long time.
Oh, yeah, LaPorte,
and,
yeah. I used to go.
Yeah, Knox is right near there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's Bass Lake, and, a lot of Chicago people come down from there, close to Chicago. So
that's true.
Yeah. Actually, Bass Lake's pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah? Did you live on Bass Lake, or were you?
No, I
visited
some shenanigans there. Yeah.
Some shenanigans.
Yeah.
What sort of shenanigans? No,
well, I can't go back that far, but my aunt does have a nice restaurant there called Sporty's. So if you ever in Bass Lake, go to Sporty's. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. So, how old were you when you started playing?
Music?
Yeah, music. I'm sure you started playing for birth, but
yeah, probably like 5 years old. There's always like some, organs and stuff, in different, aunt's house and pianos. So I fooled around on like keyboards first, and I would have rusty harmonicas and, go to the train and hang out to the train and try to do Love Me Do and stuff like that. But yeah, but I was making up stuff. I couldn't, cover anything at that time. So it was good that I was making up stuff.
So you like originally started out with originals?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was a lot easier that way, because I think listening to the radio is kind of complicated. Classic rock or whatever you listen to, but I never thought I could figure it out until I got a guitar. But I was creating melodies early.
When did you get a guitar?
My uncle was in a band, and he had a few beater guitars around, and I would, I didn't know how to tune them, but I could bang on them. So I got a lot of percussion. I used it as a percussion instrument for a while. But once I got into like Buddy Holly and things like that, I started like getting good rhythm and ideas for songs that were simply cool. But tuning guitar, probably like right before college. Yeah. I mean, I could play keyboards pretty well, but probably college I got serious and I learned all the Beatles songs in a week, and because I had like a lot of chord charts and stuff. And
you mean all of them, or like
all the chords in a Beatles? So that's how I learned chords.
Because like later in the Beatles' early songs, I can play with ease, and the ones that are later are way more challenging.
They are challenging, yeah.
Like,
but I
whenever
started,
George Harrison started writing the songs, they became much more,
Well, there's always twists in those songs, that, and the bridges and the middle eights that make it more magical.
No, that's true.
Yeah, it's not all. Some things are simple. They started off that way, but some things are,
So the roots of you is Beatles. That's your big.
Chicago radio, Beatles, blues. Visiting Chicago and stuff. I saw a lot of different acts in the late '70s, early '80s that inspired me. And street playing too, street players. So But I went to art school in Fort Wayne, and I started busting out a little bit differently at that time.
So what kind of bands have you been in? What was your first band? How old were you?
I would guess 19. I was in a thrash punk band called Thrashing Aliens.
I love that.
Thrashing Aliens, and it was all about.
I would totally go see that band.
Skateboarding and the devil, and anarchy. Yeah, we had like songs like "Dick and Jane Killed a Frog," "Skate Like an Alien," stuff like that. We only played a couple shows, but it fell apart because we were the Thrashing Aliens. But yeah, but we gave a lot of tapes out to hoodlums in the neighborhood of the guys who drank in the graveyard next to the school that we'd meet at the graveyard, and they would have tapes of the Thrashing Aliens, and they'd pass it on and whatever. But so that was kind of a band.
I'm trying to unpack all that. You had a graveyard next to the school. Is that you practiced there, or you just brought tapes?
Practice drinking.
Oh, practice drinking.
Or just we didn't mess around like with the dead, but we were amongst them drinking with the dead. But I don't know. But that's just like there was St. Francis University, college, whatever, and then there's Railroad Shack, and then there's a huge graveyard, kind of like Crown Hill. So you go exploring, late at night, off campus.
Right.
And yeah, it was safe, for us. But how did we get there? Thrashing Aliens.
I don't know. You took us there, and I just went along for the ride. Yeah. So,
but no, I started playing out in the bars of Fort Wayne, underage, as Jethro, and then it became something else. But I was playing originals, and trying to get my voice and my guitar playing perfected. But you annoy people when it's not perfect,
Right. Did you play Beatles covers at that time in the bars, or were you just...
Well, maybe one or two, yeah. Yeah, I think the first time I played in '88, I played I Saw Her Standing There, Stand By Me, and then a couple of my own songs. But they laughed at me the whole time, so it was...
They laughed at you?
Well, my songs, they did.
I see. Well, I mean,
But that was humbling.
Yeah. I'm happy that... we don't often have folks that laugh at people around here, when they get up and they're not.
No, that's
good,
true. It's when
they're just learning.
Yeah, I thought I was walking into church here. Yeah, it was quiet and relaxed, and books staring at you. It's nice.
Well, I mean, a lot's happened in this room in the last few years. This is here at Books and Bruises. I guess Books and Bruises have been around about 6 years, but a lot of music's happened in here.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah, I've seen a few shows. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's becoming its own kind of thing, right? Every place has its own feel, right?
Right.
I'm sure that the little bars in Fort Wayne and things had their own touch,
Yeah. Basement bars and derelict bars.
Did you do the house show thing ever? Have you done any of those?
I thought I started that. You play in somebody's house, people are drinking, and they throw money at you. Yeah, no, but I didn't start that. But yeah, but house shows, yeah, I guess that's something that's been happening for 10 years or more. It's but it's concentrated on that's a thing.
Right.
It used to be just it
just happened, but now it's a thing.
Yeah.
So the Thrashing Aliens. After that, I'm gonna get back to my normal line of craziness
Screw
here.
those guys.
After that, what bands were you in? What have you? Did you play solo? You've been in some bands.
It was Jethro Easyfields and the Fishes of Eden, which was kind of like a gothic folk, primal kind of thing, and bongos and three guys playing guitars and menagerie of percussion instruments, whether they were pots and pans and stuff. But it
also sounds fun to watch.
Yeah. And so, but branching out from that, I think before I left Fort Wayne, I was getting into blues, and I was starting to, I was going to the library and researching blues, but you can't do that. You got to live it. And eventually I found that I could play it eventually. Then I went to New Orleans, so that helped. But I was playing the streets and busking and stuff, so it was a reason to go there.
Yeah, how long were you in New Orleans?
About 6, 7 years. Yeah.
And
in the 90s.
You played busk all the time, or did you play in some?
I did,
down there?
and cooked, and but you know, I mean, you end up meeting all kinds of people, and you get into this circle. You know, I always say, like, you throw a rock in the pond, and the ripples go this way, but like in a music scene, it kind of like you get closer and closer to the circle, and that's what happened. So within a year, a lot of cool things happen. Musically.
I mean, I dig New Orleans. I played down there a couple of times, and it's amazing.
You did?
Yeah, it's amazing the people that you come and kind of, you know, while I was touring, stopped off, played shows,
Right.
and stuff. But it's
Where'd you play at?
House of Blues is a big.
Oh yeah, I used to work there. Yeah, and play there. Yeah.
Which is that's a pretty sweet place.
Yeah. Was it the Courtyard or?
No,
or
I
the
played in the
stage?
Continental.
Okay.
Yeah. And which was a lot of fun. Like very high end people
Yeah.
that were in there
Oh,
to see
yeah.
it, and it was really a cool show. But what I came to that was more fun to me was all the folks in New Orleans that were. You know, just like so supportive, and so I mean, I'm from out of
Right.
towner. I'm coming through, and
Sure.
they were fabulous. I
Yeah.
enjoyed just the whole vibe.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It is a vibe. You're right.
and there's so many people playing everywhere, right? All those-
Right. You get up close. Yeah. You can get
I
up
mean,
close.
busking is just normal. You know,
Oh,
they're just everywhere playing. And,
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Did you? What made you leave? You're there 6 years in the middle
Hurricanes.
of hurricanes and weather.
Not to drink, but yeah, like 3 in a row. Yeah, but you know, you could be so far away from home and people miss you and they try to pull you back all the time. I was
Right.
doing fine, but yeah, I was wading in the water there for a couple months and I was like, this is weird. So change it up.
Came back up here. What did you do after you got back?
When I came up here,
Yeah.
well, I actually, moved to Indy and I was doing inside security at the Children's Museum, living at the Murat Apartments, and starting out playing, you know, places like Chubby's Club LaSalle, and you know, some some dives and meeting some people. But at that point, I felt like, you know, I was cool to do it. You know, I had a demeanor that I could, you know, pull it off. Because when you go through like the South for so long, you're like, I could do anything now. You know?
Right.
I mean,
Confidence is high, right?
yeah, but it, you know, in a cool level, you know, just, you know, not out of bounds.
Right.
You know? But, you know, places like the East Side and South Side, well, yeah, it gets a little wild sometimes. So you can, you know, there's, you know, people fighting in the bar or whatever, and you know, you're kind of just like, well, just keep on playing.
Do you have like a strategy when a fight breaks out during your set?
Just keep on playing.
You don't stop. You don't slow down.
No,
Unless it
Keep it level.
makes its way into the stage.
maybe like bend
Duck-
down a little
duck-
bit, hunker down. But my friend Chubby Wadsworth, he said, "Thanks for keep on playing, Jethro. You kept the people here." And I was like, "Yeah." A friend of mine, Coco Robichaux in New Orleans, told me he was playing with John Lee Hooker in San Francisco, and there was people were shooting up the bar, and he said, just get low and keep on playing. So I took that advice. But yeah, because otherwise, yeah, you can't be upstaging me.
Shooting usually takes a different tone
Yeah.
when that happens. But
Yeah.
I got the
I ain't afraid.
yeah.
Yeah, we're talking 20 years ago, so we're here now.
Yeah. So in between there, what other group have you just played by yourself since you came back to Indy, or you got some?
Oh
other-
no, you know, I had like a power trio, you know, called Jet Rider Jinx. It was kind of a tribute to all the rock and roll people that went down in planes and helicopters, but it was kind of like a electric guitar, bass drums. So I was doing something different, but I ended up finding out that, you know, I could play solo or duo and just be happy.
Right.
And play anywhere you want, you know, sometimes 6 times a week. So I don't do that anymore, but
So you got the new record out?
yeah, it came out last summer.
What's it called?
Interstate. I started recording it in New Orleans and finished it up here with my friend Scott Kern producing, and Johnny Ping helped me record a few songs at his music store. So, you know, I probably had like 100 songs to pick from to get to those 12 or 13 songs on there. But,
wow, 100. I mean, that just feels like so many to pick through. How did you go about sorting it out and figuring it out? Did you have like a plan or strategy, or did you just go by feel?
Case of beer. I don't know. I mean, you just you pick and choose. You know. Yeah, I guess when you have, you know, it's like my little girl has like a lot of stuffed animals. And it's like, what's your favorites? You know, or who's in this posse? You know, like the collection of the songs, and how do they fit together? You know, so, but there was stuff left off that I was like, oh, I wish I didn't do that. But I mean, I think it came out just fine.
Well, but then you can make another. I mean, if there's stuff that you still,
if I'm interested,
about, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I mean, hell, you could make 10 more and still have.
I guess so. You don't want to hear that. Only a honey badger.
The honey badger.
Here's everything. But yeah, that's hard to choose. But you know, when you know A side, B side, C side songs, you know what's primal. But actually, when you know, I did have a producer down there I worked with a lot, and he liked the weird songs. And I was like, wow, that was at the end of the demo there. So we picked out a couple that he, you know, and sometimes you need somebody else to say, hey, you know, that jumps out at me, where you're like holding on to other things, you know.
Right.
But so that works.
Do you find that out when you're making a record that like you hang on to like a part, like a guitar part or something maybe too long, or you need somebody to like say, hey, wait a minute, that's, you know, do you ever feel that way?
Actually, it's the opposite. That, you know, it's like that's not the take, and they're like, that's the take, and I'm like, no, that's not the take, and that's the take. Let's move on, okay. But yeah, I think things are fleshed out by the time I get. You know, you don't want to waste people's time in the studio,
right?
You know, you don't want to waste your money, you waste people's time, so you come prepared. But then you kind of have to hunker down and like keep it simple, without jumping out of your skin or the guitar or whatever,
right?
And figure out what pieces might fit eventually in the overdubbing or whatever. So you had, I think with this album was weird because I didn't want a click track, because you do that, you know, to keep it professional. You can add easily. I was like, no, click track is the bass player, upright bass,
right,
bumping and bouncing. So I think that was.
So you wanted it more on the feel
organic,
of the bass player,
yeah.
Organic like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's something you have to think of before you get there.
Well, I mean, you know, in the style of record that you put out, I think it really works. It's, you know, some styles it needs more regimentation, you know?
Right.
Like, for example, I feel like hip-hop records almost always have to have some kind of a click track because there's so much regimented drumming
or pop
going on.
music or stuff like that.
Yeah, you have to, things have to fit in the right holes or they just disappear behind the drum. Mm-hmm. And but when you're playing more of a style like yours, I think it can, you know, it can work either way. I mean, you could click it out, obviously, but you know, I didn't like listen to your record and go, oh man, everybody's like not using a click track. I never.
No, you never know.
I would have not even known. I mean, it was So I mean, I think that's really cool, and that's all a stand-up bass the whole time on all the tracks.
The whole album. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it was pretty rich. So
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd worked with that guy in New Orleans in '94, '95, so it was kind of like coming around. I got some of my favorite players are on the album. You know, my friend Christian on drums, who's in Harley Poe, and he's got some new bands. And then Mark Stone, killer slide guitar player that I used to play the streets of. He's big in New Orleans now. Paco on the bass. But I didn't add keyboards and stuff like that, you know, that I did on top of it. But it comes out cool. I mean, I treat a CD like an album, like A side, B side, so it has to have that feel or that sequence. Mm-hmm. And as time goes on, you've done, you know, collections. It's like, okay, the song should be first, and then so that you have to work that out.
They sound good when they go next to each other.
Yeah. And yeah,
that's cool. So at this point, we bring in the Moonshine life coach because
where's the Moonshine? I'm waiting on it.
Well, we're in a brewery, so we had to just have beer. But
right on. The life coach. Oh,
This
man.
is comedian Brentley Smith, and he
All right.
brings life advice to our guests.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
This is church.
sort of.
A couple of things. First, good choice with your get up with the
Oh, yeah.
colored glasses and
Blues
the hat.
Brothers. Yeah.
Yeah. But no one else can join the club. Like we
Oh, yeah,
kinda
yeah.
had that down.
We're in the chi. Yeah.
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 And then so you're wearing a flash shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe it'd be better or a Green Lantern shirt, but inside out,
Inside Out Green Lantern shirt.
Yeah.
I could.
not backwards.
It's like
that's
that
just-
movie. Yeah.
Oh, it's not even about the movie. It's just that's the
No,
style, man.
That's cool.
This is
Why
stuff.
are you picking on my Flash?
No. I'm not picking on it. Just saying, inside
I
that
know.
Green Lantern, it makes people think a little more.
Oh, the fever's good, though.
Yeah.
Don't they get some time off, though?
They start up in May.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got your spirit animal here, the honey badger.
The honey badger, my security, yeah.
Yeah, a good choice, but I think just a slightly better choice would be the almond badger.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about him.
Well, that's why it's so
Is
rare.
he from the Almond Brothers?
No, like the nuts.
The nuts. Oh, I get it.
Yeah. Or
Greg
usually-
Almond.
Yeah.
I met him one time. I don't want to tell that story, but
Put them together.
Why don't you want to
to
tell that story? Wait a second.
Yeah.
you don't have 15 minutes.
Greg Allman, you met him?
Yeah, but I have pennies from Greg Almond. He gave me change, but
Oh,
it's a
when
long
you were
story. and we
busking?
can't go there.
Well-
no, not busking. I was actually cooking at the House of Blues. He was drinking in
What were you cooking?
my brain. No, let's not go there. Anyways, he stole my pen, and I got pennies from. Yeah, I can't tell that story. He was happy though.
Enough pennies, and then you got some real money.
Pennies from
Well,
Almond. Yeah.
hey, you touched an almond brother, and now he wants you to have an almond
Oh, yeah. Well, I got
almond
yeah.
badger. I don't know what that is, but okay.
Yeah, it's-
What else you got for us, life coach?
yeah, well, do you have any questions? Anything that you're working on? Think about
I did have questions when I woke up today, but I was hungover. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can I get there?
Yeah,
Is there a castle in Castleton, or are
yeah,
there
but you
people
need to know
fishing
the
in
secret
Fishers?
password. Fishers is actually named after like a great uncle of mine or something.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. According to my mom's brother,
Mhm.
but he's kind of weird and crazy, so that might not be true.
Really? Did you get picked on in school and stuff like that, or did they know?
No, they knew not to mess with me.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, look at him.
We built this city.
Does he look like somebody you'd mess with? I mean, really?
I got honey badger hair, you know.
Yeah,
Right?
he's got protection.
We're talking about being hungover. Maybe don't drink at noon.
Well,
you got to start the fire.
you asked me to show up.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
He's got to start the fire.
No, I had to taste the cream and punishment because I was like, that's my life. So
The cream and punishment.
is.
I'm a fan of the cream and punishment, quite honestly.
right on.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
All right,
Yeah,
I'll get
see
you one
ya.
when we're done.
You brought your family here today?
Yeah, I know these girls. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my little girl, Lucy,
Oh.
and that's Amy.
Yeah, we have a local journalist, Amy Foxworthy, in the house.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
I think maybe you might do some good. Like if you add to your family,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe adopt a 27-year-old midget. I'm sorry.
I had those in New Orleans.
Little person?
They'd bring me food, but they were strippers, so they'd bring me food on the street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, maybe adopt one of them.
Well, I don't know. It's the 21st century. It gets complicated.
Yeah, you can identify as
What
whatever you want
culture
now.
takes you out on that one, right? You don't want to become
It's small people. It's not. You can't say midget, right? It's small people, right?
So the word we can't say is midget. Midget's
I
the
don't
word we
know.
can't say.
I used to be in the circus, and you're not supposed to say that around them. Otherwise, they'll stab you. Because
You
they're
were in
powerful.
the circus? When were you in the circus?
I can't tell you.
Man,
Joe, I can't tell you
I'm getting all this
everything.
good stuff, and I'm getting shut off from it.
The psycho circus.
Yeah.
Was it another life coach advice thing? And by the way, I'm still doing my internship, so just gotta take this with a huge grain of salt. I'll be certified in anywhere from 10 to 30 years. It's a long process to make sure everybody knows what they're doing.
So they let you out of the crazy house just to come here, or you get like some
This isn't the crazy house.
It was too quiet when I walked in. It was
It's not
like,
quiet in my head.
well, that's a good. It's not quiet in my head is my first song. Actually.
Well, that's one other suggestion is maybe write a song that all you do is hum,
Yeah. Well,
and then
that's where the backup singers come.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
His
humming.
suggestions are
Yeah.
sometimes good, other times.
I'm glad you're here, just in case.
Yeah.
That's why I got Honey Badger. I knew there was going to be.
I don't know if that one's great or not. The humming.
Help me.
Well, I didn't say I had to do it over and over, just the one time.
I thought you were a life coach, man.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm still in training.
All right.
I forgot how many
Don't
hours
throw.
left. I haven't checked in a
Yeah.
while.
Don't start throwing chairs at me, Bobby. You know,
That's too much work.
that's my life coach.
Well, we've brought him on, ladies and gentlemen. The Moonshine Life Coach, Brent Lee Smith.
Moonshine.
Good with you, sir.
Thanks. I appreciate your time.
So really, you were in the circus? That's crazy. That's fun.
Done. Asking questions.
Well, we only have a couple more.
I've been nervous this whole time.
What songs you gonna play for us today?
Oh, from the new album, a song called Hysteria, and possibly a cover of a magazine. Both songs I wrote with my friend Owen Neighbors. I think Gary knows Owen, but I don't know if Gary hangs out with him as much as I do. But yeah, he gets a little surly, late in the night. But I have him jot down some stuff, so I pick and choose, cut and paste, and then I get lyrics, not really chords, but flavor,
Right.
poetic, white trash stuff. I don't know, but so yeah, he, my friend Owen, and he gets mad if I don't mention him because he's already 8 beers in right now, but it doesn't even matter. But no, literal stuff, honest words that kind of creep you out. So these songs, it doesn't really mention the girl, but the girl's crazy. But the whole reason you're writing the song is because you're crazy about the girl, or some shit went down. I mean, I know
It happens.
it does. Yeah, Saturday night. But
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. You ready to sing some of them?
hopefully.
All right. Well, let's do it. We'll be right back with Jethro Easyfields right here on Moonshine and Music. Thank you, brother, for coming in.
No problem. Ow.
Strong. Well, hellhound, hysteria hanging high downtown. Going faster, you belong. Well, baby, put a blue dress on top of my engine. Well, baby, rattle down to the south. Well, she got my heart, she got my mouth, she got my attention. Hysteria, hysteria, men's hysteria. Well, below the flower bed is the last chance. That's the beast of all our worries. Why no good point, it ain't so fancy. Underflowing blood without a jury. Well, baby, put a blue dress on top of my engine. Well, baby, rattle down to the south. Well, she got my heart, she got my mouth, she got my attention. Hysteria, hysteria, men's hysteria. Whoa. good where the river doesn't cross it. Not to pray my breath before I lost it. Well, she couldn't get a move on, so I carried it on down. This rough rhythm, she's pound to pound. Well, baby, pulled a blue dress on top of my engine. Well, baby, rattled down to the south. Well, she got my heart, she got my mouth, she got my attention. Hysteria, hysteria, Miss Hysteria. Well, fast as you go away, be here now. Chop it up for a while, this hysteria. Like a rainy day, woman, she's on the prowl. Stop driven from the shore, you too wild, yeah. Well, baby, put a blue dress on top of my engine. Well, baby, rattled down to the south. Well, she got my heart, she got my mouth, she got my attention. Hysteria, hysteria, Miss Hysteria. Well, hysteria, hysteria, little Miss Hysteria. What can I say? I'm in detention. Front door slamming shut. She gave me sugar in the mezzanine. Last time you had to confess. She's on the cover of a magazine. She's on the cover of a magazine. She's saying, my, sha-la-la-la-la. She's saying, na-na, sha-la-la-la-la. She's saying, do me. She said, but I don't have a brush for my hair. Well, you can't call the dead on the cell phone. You gotta hush when you get to hell. Woo! Back door slamming shut. She gave me sugar in the mezzanine. Last time she had to confess. She's on the cover of a magazine. She's on the cover of a magazine. She's saying, my, sha-la-la-la-la. She's saying, na-na, sha-la-la-la-la. She's saying, do me. Dimple in her ass. She said the wine would surely pass until she broke a glass on the ceiling. She said she hate me with a feeling. Woo! shut. She gave me sugar in the mezzanine. Last time you had to confess. She's on the cover of a magazine. She's on the cover of a magazine. She's saying, my, sha-la-la-la-la. She's saying, na-na, sha-la-la-la-la. She's saying, do me. She goes home to undress, looking deep and wishing well. Well, she found unfortunate things, she's such a mess. Getting that itchy only fell for me out. Well, front door slamming shut. She gave me sugar in the mezzanine. Last time you had to confess. She's on the cover of a magazine. She's on the cover of a magazine. She's saying, my, sha-la-la-la-la. She's saying, na-na, sha-la-la-la-la. She's saying, do me.
Moonshine in Music is a presentation of Notlehs Entertainment. Copyright 2020, all rights reserved. The producer for today's show was Joe Shelton. Our cameraman, grip, and stunt double was Brent Lee Smith. On cameras and all sorts of other things, Bailey Shelton. And our staff guru is Brent SCHLEMMER. Join us each Sunday for new episodes right here with Moonshine and Music.